want to
pertinent
end with
questions.
and I'll take everybody's brief comment on Cathedral, whether it's actually value for money in view of the fact that Ghana has many challenges that it has to deal with, and also whether there's any justification for doling out 25 million Ghana cedis to support of this national cathedral, especially when the president himself has said it's a personal pledge, a personal commitment he has to do this. So why must you and I pay for the president's personal commitment to God? Anyway, so Julius Agaho and Tahiru from Asawasi says, honestly, Mr. Moro, Madame Gloria is not being fair in answering the question of Magu, or is it that Madame Gloria is hiding behind neutrality to defend her political party? Magu just wants to know her opinion on what happened in Parliament. No, but she's expressed her opinion. She says, the opinion is that we still have a Parliament. So I don't know what else you wanted to say. The military invading Parliament. So Moro, and tell her to give an honest answer and stop beating about the bush. In fact, this kind of unfair comments by some of the so-called neutral people is the reason why Ghana is sinking.
I gave my answer. Yes, so
let's do this.
You should go back to the video.
So this week, another letter leaked. So there was the letter, the IGP's letter that leaked, and then there was another letter that leaked. Now this letter has to do with an instruction by the Finance Ministry for 25 million cedis to be paid to the National Cathedral Secretariat. It is towards the building of the National Cathedral. Now, the Deputy Finance Minister has been speaking on this matter. In fact, the ranking member on Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, has been speaking on this matter. He says, what the government is doing is very insensitive and it doesn't make sense. The Deputy Finance Minister says it makes sense because the Finance Minister in 2019 said in the 2019 budget that some seed money was going to be given. It is also true that even though he said he didn't tell us how much was going to be given. The minority, of course, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is also saying that, is also asking how much has so far been collected. People were asked to pay 100 Ghana cedis via Momo. How much has been collected? Persons who have brought in huge sums of money, how much have they brought? How much is the entire project going to cost? And why must we use the taxpayers' money in the first place to build this national cathedral? So these questions are being asked. I'll pick everybody's thought 3 minutes is because we don't have all the time, so that we can wrap up on this on the conversation as quickly as possible. So I don't know whether we have any overlays to play on this matter. Abdallah, if you do have some overlays, we don't. Okay, so we'll just go straight to the point. So I'll start with Elvis. Elvis, I saw a post you put out on Facebook. You think this exercise is needless in the first place. Why are you saying this now? Or it's an opinion you've held right from day one?
It's an opinion I've held. It's a needless exercise in the first place.
Why is it needless?
Very needless in the sense that, first of all, we say we are a secular state.
Yes.
And therefore, the state should not have anything doing with religion.
But Kabila has gone to court to seek the Supreme Court's interpretation of it, and it's been thrown out
So it still doesn't not make me to hold an opinion.
Okay.
So if we say we are a secular state, I don't see why state money should be going to build an infrastructure that is tagged as a religious, a particular religious institution.
But it's the president's personal thing. It's not a Ghana thing.
Let me tell you, I say a religious. You say you are a secular state. It means that you are not a Christian or a Muslim nation.
Yes.
So why should we build something by the state in the name of one particular religion? That is number one. Number two, I'm a Christian. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. Instead from here, I'll go to the Hanson Road SDA Church to go and worship. I know that in the Bible, God said He doesn't dwell in temples built by human hands. Our bodies are supposed to be the temple of God. That's where He wants to live. So God doesn't live in things that are built by human hands. That's what the Bible tells me. So I don't see the relevance today of building a cathedral. Because as a Christian, somebody will say, oh, they are building a cathedral. For Christians are the ones who should be happy. I'm not happy because my Bible did not say that we should go and build a cathedral. Mm-hmm. It says that God doesn't live in man-made buildings. So for me, this cathedral thing we are talking about, from day one, I've always said that it's a needless exercise, a needless expenditure. We should not do it.
Okay.
If there was not going to be any public money invested, and it was religious leaders who decide to help the president to do it, and there will be no public money ending up in it, that would not be an issue. But when public money is going to go into it, it could come up with a lot of issues. So for me, spending money on a religious institution in a secular state is my problem. And two, the fact that I'm a Christian and I know we build places of worship where we go to worship our God. That is why churches build their places. That's what we. But the God that we are worshiping does not live there. That's what He has told us. He says He lives in us. Our body is where He wants to live in. And therefore, I don't see why a state should want to spend public money to build a cathedral. Action Chapel has a big cathedral. If we have a national event, we think we have to do it in a cathedral. I think Action Chapel is big enough to host any national event as a cathedral. Dr. Mensa Utaba has a big church. Reverend Ajinasari has a big church.
The government says the government says this particular one has economic benefits.
Cedar Temple is big.
This one has economic benefits.
Please.
Tourists are going to come into this country and pay good money to tour this facility.
You see, the best cathedrals are in some of the most advanced countries. So if tourists want to go and see cathedrals,
they won't come to Ghana?
Or they want to go for tourism purposes,
they won't come to
Ghana. Go and see cathedral. Why would you? I know you know Washington Cathedral.
Yes.
And you know cathedrals in other countries. Please, if tourists want to go and see cathedrals, they will go to those places. If it is for tourism purposes, we should be using resources to develop what they don't have in their countries. Then they will come here, and the facilities are in states good so that they can go there.
Okay.
But our tourism sites,
It's
we
deplorable.
all know it's so deplorable. Roads, the places are bad, facilities and other things. So if the argument is about tourism, then I'm not sure. If we say we want to have a Bible museum, I'm not sure that we'll have a Bible museum that is bigger than what is in the Vatican.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So for me, truth is that the name cathedral itself is a problem. The fact that it's being associated with Christian faith and the God we worship says He doesn't live in places built by human hands.
Okay.
I think that nation as Ghana, public resources going into it.
Okay.
If the president has a vision, want to do something, or go, and religious leaders from the Christian faith have decided to help him do it, they should help him do it without public funds.
Okay.
They should do it with private funding as they are doing.
Okay.
But so long as public funds are going to come into it, it's going to be a problem.
Okay.
What if tomorrow a Muslim becomes president and also decides that he has to build
a big church,
a huge mosque to the comparable to what is in Mecca for Muslims?
Yeah.
Or a traditionalist becomes president and say, me to have a pledge to build
So you're talking
the
about
biggest
president.
shrine.
You should be careful with presidents.
Yeah, a biggest shrine in Ghana
Okay.
for Ghanaians, because Ghanaians are traditionalists who want to. Is it so? I don't think that if the president has this, and all these people can do it, a Muslim president can come and say, want to build the biggest what?
Mosque in Ghana.
Mosque. But it shouldn't involve public money.
Okay.
They should find their private money.
Okay.
The Muslim community should rally behind that president. They should raise their own funding and build it.
Okay.
But the moment we are putting in public funds, then
it becomes a problem.
Becomes so many churches, chapels are spread across Ghana. If we want to car change buildings in Ghana, we'll get no less than 3,000.
All right. Sorry, let's do this. Amos from Kumasi
That's
says...
why I know has I'm told about 100 or something.
Alvin, sorry, we have to do this because we're running out of time. Amos from Kumasi says that please tell Madam that if they want the youth of today to stop thinking about coup, our leaders should be up and doing, because this is the only alternative the youth of today, I think, can solve the persistent problem of hardship and corruption. Coup is not good. Please don't.
They are fantasizing.
Let me weigh in on your discussion. One of the interesting things I find about Twitter posts and the limitations that their brevity places on communicating context is that tweets are very open to interpretation. In this way, they can be very useful tools for finding out the perspectives of people on a matter, because without too much context, people resort to values and assumptions to make sense of information. That may be the reason why one person conveniently places a non-existing question mark after again, and another person thinks it is a statement of fact. Now, the far-reaching implications of this is winding conversation. But what about who is wrong or right? I think the question we have to answer first is that in a situation like this, how do we determine who is right or wrong? It will appear that a history of tweets by UK commissioners reveal a responsibility that sending countries have towards receiving countries to be interested in the business of the country. On the receiving side, who takes his responsibility to the sending country? The IGP Foreign Affairs, it appears the Foreign Affairs made a good call. All right, please go ahead.
Moro, on this subject matter, I was surprised that a government that is struggling to print textbooks for school children, provide adequate hospital beds for our hospitals to take care of our people. A government that is running a budget deficit. Our current GDP, debt to GDP, is inching up to 80% and over. We borrowed ourselves so much that our current debt portfolio is estimated to be 391, nearly 400 billion. And we find it expedient. We find it as useful to demolish government bungalows, hosting judges and even government officers. Mm-hmm. Demolish it. Mm-hmm. And go and rent apartments, or in the future build apartments to host the very people or officers who were occupying those land and those bungalows. That cost put aside, we said that we are going to ask private sector people, Christian community and other, to donate towards the building of a cathedral. We end up that the state will have to give seed capital before the private sector funds will come. So the state commits itself to an amount of 25 million. Besides that we have committed ourselves to, we go ahead to pay the architect that designed the building itself. Together, we have now spent about 52 million. Mm-hmm. We've gone beyond the 25. Yeah. We've now spent about 52 million on this particular project. That is hard cash. Besides the value of the land, the value of the buildings, and the cost that we have incurred by renting apartments for the judges and those officers that were there, and the plan to build, another set of a bungalow somewhere else for them. Why are we doing this to this country? This country is poor, and we need every money, anywhere, to solve our problems. Right. And yet, the government of the day decides that the president has had a dream, like President Empire Bukasa, and therefore he has to deliver. Look, Hofre Buayin did the same thing. He didn't build a cathedral. He built a basilica bigger than a cathedral in Ivory Coast. What is it earning for Ivory Coast today? Part of it is even being in ruins. Why? Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Madam, what do you think?
Do
we need a cathedral?
I
think we've gone past
please,
that.
I wrote an article in the Daily Graphic on 23rd June 2020 on why we need a national cathedral. In fact, when I sent my article, I said my visit to the National Cathedral. Okay. And I was talking about my visit to the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. As a tourist. And then I gave some recommendations on how the cathedral could also have an international and domestic tourist attraction with informative books, brochures, Bible shops, and others. It's you can Google online why we need, but they turned it, instead of my visit to National Cathedral, the Graphic published it with the heading, Why We Need National Cathedral. Graphic Online, 23rd June 2020. I will say that, yes, we need a national cathedral for economic purposes, for employment purposes, for job creation purposes. I've seen that beautiful national mosque on the Kanda Highway. It's fantastic. I'm told if there was a donation, external donor donated it. But in Ghana, our statistics, our census shows that 71.2% of the population are Christians. Okay? So if 71.2% of the population, which in 2022 stands at 32.37%, 32.37 million exists, then if every one of the 32.37% million donates even, if every one of the 71.2% donates even 1 CD a month, I'm giving free consultation, isn't it?
So your point is that you don't need to spend state
yeah, you can raise 22,720,000 Ghana cedis every month for the cathedral.
So you don't need to spend
so you don't need, if we are really serious about fundraising from this 71.2% of Christians, 1 CD a month, That translates to 20 million. Okay.
Right.
So let's
I think
look at it.
your point is,
Some
yes,
of
we
us
need the
are
National Cathedral, but
interested
don't use state money to build it.
Yes, that's my point. But
Okay.
I'm also going forward to give what do you call it?
Okay.
An idea of how the money can be raised.
Okay, that's fine.
And I can give further details.
So
later.
really next time when we can,
If,
because the National Cathedral conversation has a start, I'm sure we'll continue. My name is Murado. Thanks for watching another edition of Inside Pages. I think it's been reverberating. It's been very exciting as well. I want to say big thanks to Elvis Darkon, who is the managing editor of the Finder Group of companies, and then also Mr. Benjamin Isuman, who is the executive director of Solidaire Ghana. My name, once again, is Murado. Thanks for watching. Those of you sent us message I couldn't read. I beg you, I will read it next time round. Auntie Gloria Mother, Gloria Furiwedu is a private legal practitioner. Can you imagine how do you call it? A blunder was going to commit. Thanks for watching once again. Have a good day. Bye-bye.